My sister-in-law that she deserved what happened to her. My wife and I have been married for 5 years and we have a 4-year-old son. My wife is a lawyer and I am an accountant. This year my son started kindergarten, which in our country is optional from the age of 3 and mandatory at the age of 5. So we considered that at 4 years old he could start his classes so that he learns to socialize. So my wife and I take turns picking up the child from kindergarten and taking him home. On the days that neither she nor I can't take him home, my father does it for us. And when he can't, my sister-in-law does it. But the problem is that I don't trust in her to take care of my son. There is why, when my wife and I started dating, she told me that her sister is a little special because during her adolescence she was abused by her first boyfriend, and that thanks to that she tends to become a little aggressive when she hears screams or too strong noises. It doesn't help that she doesn't seek psychological help because she believes that psychologists are a scam, a fairly common belief in my country. Unfortunately, due to her traumas and her past experience, it bothers me that my sister-in-law is sometimes left alone with my son. I'm not saying that she is going to intentionally do something bad to him, but if she is very sensitive to noises, I am worried that one day she reacts badly to the child's cries and a tragedy happens. This is a concern that I have told my wife before and that she understands, which is why her sister is always the last option to pick up our son. Anyway, she has always told me that her sister is a good person and that she would never hurt our kid. Everything was going well until yesterday. I got home late because it was tax filing time at my company and I see my wife arguing with her sister in a low voice but in a quite aggressive tone. I went to look for my child, but my wife stopped me. She told me that he is fine, that he is sleeping. I told her that I will still go and greet him, but she insisted. Her sister said a little afraid that she better leave now. I started to get suspicious, so I didn't listen my wife and I went to see my child directly. When I saw him, he was in his room crying and with a small wound on his cheek. From that moment on, everything went downhill. I ran out to follow my sister-in-law knowing that she went to pick up the child that day. She saw me and got scared. My wife stood between the two of us and said that nothing happened, only that the child fell and that he got hurt. I asked her sister to tell the truth and after putting enough pressure on her she started crying and said that my son had an accident. But when he started crying she slapped him to keep him quiet because it was making her nervous. She said she did not measure her strength and that she did not know that she would hurt the child. I should say that she didn't apologize at any time. That only made me angrier, so I yelled at her in the middle of the street, resisting the urge to attack her. In the middle of my anger I told her I'm glad that your ex treated you the way you deserved. I don't even know how that were the first words that went out of my mouth. After calming down I returned to the house and my wife came back some time later angry with me for what I said, that this was supposed to be a secret, that her sister didn't know that I knew, that now her sister is angry with her for going around saying that she was abused in her first relationship. I asked her how she could be angry with me and not with her sister for attacking our son. She told me that she was angry with her, but that I crossed the line by insulting her in the middle of the street. She also told me that it is normal for adults to hit to the children to shut up, that their mother used to do it often, but what I did was very low. Currently she and I are sleeping in separate rooms. I sleep with the child and she in our room. She tells me that I should at least apologize to her sister and I told her that I am not going to apologize until my son is cured, and her sister better hope the boy doesn't get a scar from this. I'm not saying that physical punishment shouldn't be used with children, only in extreme cases like my parents did with me, but hitting a child just for crying because he had an accident seems too exaggerated to me. Now, I'm a little calmer and maybe I did go a little overboard, but I'm not willing to apologize until my son receives an apology first. Or should I take the first step and apologize to my sister-in-law first?